And we're live. Welcome, everyone, to 100 Days of Code. Actually, it is now 200 Days of Code. We upgraded. The show must go on. And we have the guest that has been here for 100 days in a row. It's not about 101 Dalmatians. It's about 101 Days of Code. Welcome, Leon Andersen.
Hello, everyone, to round 2. Yeah, I am happy to be here. Also, day 1 of 100 days of gym. And yeah, what you see on the screen is my $1 trillion website, my new startup. Just kidding. It's the raw stage that my blog page is at. And I will show you around and then show you around in the tour, in VS Code, VS Codium, to be exact. And yeah, so I have, except for my subscribe logic, I have all the logic inside of this wonderful web app. And then tomorrow I'll do the subscribe logic and the styling. And yeah, so far I just used filler text. I mean, the blog posts will be fillers for a while, but the about page and the imprint, I mean, imprint will also be a dummy for a while, but yeah, so we are now on the homepage, which is the index HTML, basically, index.js. And in the final version, we will have about and subscribe also in the nav bar in line with the home link, but we don't have it yet. So yeah, it's but it's in the nav bar and it's in a layout, so I don't have to repeat that manually. And I can edit all at once tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to those moments of just doing a few little stylings here and there, and then everything being cool in a very fast time, hopefully. So yeah, if we click the about link, we see that about page renders, which has a lot of very meaningful content, as we can see. And if we click the imprint, we see that the imprint, which is very sophisticated as well, that this is loading. Subscribe at this moment is not I mean, it will probably not be a page. It will be a request trigger, basically. But at the moment, I linked it to a page, and this page is not actually existing. So if I click it, I go to my custom 404 page, which is also very meaningful and has a lot of features. And if I go back to the main page, which renders really fast after the first, except for the subscribe, probably because it has to hard get to the same URL. So I'm probably too aggressive as a user, or what? I don't know. Anyway, imprint and about and homepage is loading really fast because it's pre-rendered already. Even though technically it should pre-render at every request. I don't know, because it's in dev mode. But I definitely have the experience that, I mean, let's see. I mean, now it's probably lazy or loading already because I'm hovering on it. But let's click here. Okay, look, it takes a little while, a little more than before. I don't know, probably imagination. But back, click. Now this was faster. I measured it with my eyes in milliseconds, in blinks. And yeah, everything is awesomely clickable from everywhere except subscribe. I can't click it too often because otherwise I get get a slap on my fingers. And yeah, I'll fill all of that with nicer text. But yeah, the styling you see is just to test if Tailwind is set up correctly, and now it is. And I would say let's dive into the code. So let's close my personal notes. 1 second. Okay. I guess the greatest thing about this screen share now is my custom. Where are we? Here we are. It's my custom color scheme. Yeah. And yeah, browser or file browser overview. Here we have the components, the navbar, the footer, the layout, which get basically passed the children into the layout, basically from this one here. So the component with the page props are the children of the layout, and so this way footer and header or navbar are always above that. Date component is just some settings. I need to tweak a little bit on that probably tomorrow as well. Then we have the pages, basically index, importing link for the individual links of each blog post preview. I wrapped it around the whole ally, so you can't miss clicking on it. And wherever you click on that preview, you will get to the post. However, I will make that only the title will change color when on hover. And what else is there? Interesting stuff. Yeah, the preview is basically metadata from front matter, which I'm fetching with gray matter, which is in this post data JS, which I have in the utilities. I don't know if it's, I guess if it's common to call it utilities, but utils sounds a bit weird. I don't know. Lib didn't seem right to me. It sounds more like a utility than a library. I don't know. So I chose this one because it was one of the choices that were recommended inside of the tutorial. Anyway, and yeah, this post data basically imports matter from gray matter. And where do we have it? Here we basically get an array out of the file contents with the results from the front matter, and behind the scenes inside of a post, which is in this folder here. No, not this one. This folder, because it's not in the pages, but in the root folder, or in the source folder actually. Here we see that inside of these markdown triple dashes, we have metadata stored, which is the front matter, and here I put a little preview text that is not that does not necessarily have to be text of the blog page itself. In this case, it is because I didn't want to write anything else. But this could be completely separate. As you can see, yeah, fuck it. Let's not switch screen share, but we would now see that there's a different preview than there's actually text once we click it. And yeah, what else do we have? Yeah, we basically get the preview by mapping over all post data, which is where is it? Oh yeah, all post data is. Wait a second. Where is all post data? There are so many get post data. All post data.sort. Get sorted post data. Yeah, basically that's this one, the sorted post data. Get sorted post data is putting out. Where is it? All post data. This is a const that gets mapped over. Wait, is it the same all post data or post data? Yeah, it's the same. Okay, just checking. And basically, as far as I understand, it gets populated with all these things, basically with the front matter, because here's the closing tab of all post data. And then afterwards, it also gets sorted because on the sorted by date, because we want it to be shown in sort by date order on the homepage. So in the future, I will see if I can implement multiple sorting options. But yeah, this makes sense for now. And yeah, basically, is there anything else interesting? I mean, maybe, probably, one could have put this one and this one and as the same function, and then just run it through this one separately, modularly. I don't know. I'm too. I think it's too much for now to really think that through. But what's interesting about it? Is there anything interesting? Yeah, I mean the file that basically dynamically renders that dynamically routes the different posts that get that are inside of this posts folder here, where you could basically write multiple hundreds, thousands, millions files in there, and they would all run basically through get static paths until they're all done. And we have all the basically post IDs. Where is that one? Probably here. Get all post IDs, where we basically get the ID from cutting off the .md at the end, which is a slug, which will result in a slug. This is not the actual representative slug there yet, because I will replace them tomorrow. But yeah, the this component, or this page basically with the square brackets dynamically renders, gets the paths here, and then gets like props, knows, as far as I understand it, one path after another, to populate it with the post data of each individual post, basically, or markdown file. And it gets the params. Yeah, I still not sure where exactly it gets the params from. There was a question in the tutorial. Let me look it up real quick, behind the scenes. Da, 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 da. Yeah, there was this question here. Wait, why is it gone? Where is it? Here we have it. Okay. How does params.id from getStaticProps know the key is named ID? So it's a bit hard to I'll paste it into to here. Oops. And the possible answers were this one, this one, and the correct answer is the value. It gets the params ID out of the value from the file name. Which makes sense that, yeah, as I already explained, where do we have it here? Is it this one? No, get all post IDs. Yeah, this one here. We get it from here, but get static props params, as far as I see it, is not directly linked to get all post IDs. So it's probably getting the params from some of the other functions here, which get the, oh, wait. There's params here. Wait, did we just solve where params is coming from yesterday? Because here we actually have it as a return in the, yeah, not behind the scenes. Wait, so, but how does it get all post IDs? Okay, so we import get all post IDs in this file. Paths, fallback. Yeah, this is the paths. But how does get static props know that that params is the prop, or is a parameter or a prop of get all post IDs? Is it just scanning through and hoping that get post data doesn't also have params? I don't know. How is that working?
Yeah, I mean that's literally what we talked about yesterday. So yesterday we talked about how get all post IDs has to return an array, and each of the object in the array has to have the params key. And the name params just comes from Next.js, similar to how get static props or get server side props has to have a props key. The return value from get static path has to have a path key, and the path key must be an array where each object has params. So the answer is B for the question, because get static path has the path key where each object in the array must have the params key, and you assemble those by using your get all post IDs function. So yeah, it's pretty much what we talked through yesterday, but I think it looks like now it's slowly starting to click how it all comes together.
Yeah, I have it much better visually here because I have it directly side by side, and also I for some reason I did not see params, like I did not see it yesterday inside of get all post IDs. There's like we were scrolling through this file, to this for me personally long file, very often. Also maybe because they had a different color scheme, and this color scheme is just makes everything better. I don't know. Just kidding. But yeah, I'm seeing it, and also yeah, but get static props params. I would say, or my first intuitive answer would be, it knows it from the output of get all post IDs, which is one step in between. But I guess, well, in the end, it's about it's coming from the file name itself. But like to me, everything is linked in like middle steps, like steps in between, and skipping some of the steps sometimes feels weird for me. So I would have, I mean, I would definitely choose B because there is no connection of the front matter to params as far as I know it, because yeah, get all post ID doesn't have anything file names. No, this is just file name stuff. But get static props gets it from get all post IDs, because without get all post IDs, it wouldn't get params. It wouldn't get the the file name basically. But I guess that's just I don't know, splitting hairs, or how is it called?
No, I think the misunderstanding here lies in the value from the file name is not referring to the code in get all post IDs, though obviously that's relevant. It is referring to the file you have on the very left side on your screen highlighted right now. It's referring to ID in square brackets. And this file name literally dictates where we need to basically put the key with the information in get all post IDs. That dictates we have to put it into ID inside of the params there. And it also dictates that in line 18 in the actually ID.js file, we have to look up the key ID. So I think the value from the file name does not necessarily, though it's related, refer to the part where you say file name.replace, but it's actually referring to the literal file name of the dynamic route.
That confused the heck out of me. Because yeah, I know that ID.js basically behind the scenes looks for IDs or paths that that can be placed into this placeholder basically. But at the same time, we have params.id here, which seems to directly be created from get all post IDs.
Yes, but let's say you want to not name this ID, you want to name this cranky duck. Then you would have to rename the file into cranky duck, and then you would have to change the line where it says ID file name to cranky duck file name, and then you would have to change get post data to params.crankyduck. If you leave it with ID, even though the code should technically still work just by changing the file name, Next.js will yell at you because then get static path is not returning the correct array, and Next.js will say, hey, you're leaving out the information that I need to know what the dynamic file path will be, and therefore it is what ultimately also then decides what you will need to use in line 18, where you grab it in get static props to get the data for the specific post.
I just realized I read the question wrong. It's not about how does it know what the ID is, but no, the key is named ID. That makes sense. But yeah, because here this is the key and this is the value. So we're not talking about the value of this file name, but we're talking about the value of this file name. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Well, sometimes I need to maybe slow down while reading. I guess that will solve many of the hiccups. But yeah, I don't know. Is it possible to like? Yeah, I will just experiment with reading a bit more patiently sometimes, and more thoroughly.
Sounds great, yeah.
Sometimes I'm in a rush because I want to show cool stuff in the code core, and also want to get on as fast as possible. But yeah, sometimes then I miss a lot of details. So maybe I will, yeah, as I said. But yeah, I mean, also the first Next.js tutorial I watched on double speed because I wanted to get it done on the same day. So maybe that's because there were some hiccups there as well. So, yeah, but we can only get better from now. So let's go.
So if there was someone watching right now who isn't there yet, hasn't learned Next.js, which of the two tutorials would you recommend them do? Which of the two did you like more?
Depends on what you want to build. If you want to use Markdown, then I would say the Next.js tutorial, the original one. If you want to use, I mean, let's check the code, the Ninja Tut code. Pages. Yeah, basically, where did it get it? Did it get them from? IDs, pages, like stance, comps. I'm not seeing where it gets the. Oh yeah, it fetches the data from an API. So it uses it puts it as strings and then renders it in basic HTML. So if you want to use Markdown, do the other one, do the Next.js original one. If you don't want to use Markdown, this was probably good, but and also sometimes it's fun to watch because visual it's, I don't know, having it in a I would say just do both. But if you want to understand it a bit deeper, I would say definitely the nextjs.org one. Like I would say there are some deeper explanations there for sure. Yeah, pretty sure.
Great. Then any last thoughts, epiphanies you want to share before we end day 101?
Only that I get a lot of pleasure from watching this, from seeing this color scheme, even though it's not my final one. I'm already like the combination of simplistic gray and not having any colors in like these badges here, and but then like very colorful text. I don't know. I get visual orgasms each time I watch, scan over the screen. Anyway, completely unnecessary wisdom today, wisdom gang. No, I mean, maybe I have some real wisdom. I mean, no breaking point. Today I also, spent a lot of time trying to work with MDX, and I wasted like 4 hours on that, and I finally went to Markdown afterwards again, which was way easier, even though it sounded like I could do it very easily with MDX, but I didn't find any proper MDX Next.js tutorial that worked for me, even though I did have the dependencies installed and stuff. I mean, maybe there were some details I might have missed, but I don't know. The Markdown setup direct worked instantly for me. So even though I'm very curious about the customizations of that could be done with MDX, also found it very interesting that one could render MDX files directly as pages in one of the tutorials on YouTube, but for me it did not work at all. But the wisdom is probably if you have like a tutorial that you can trust, some source like nextjs.org, rather than some random YouTubers, then and it will make your desired goal work, then go with the easier or the faster route, even though maybe it's not as fancy as you thought or as clean as you might even think. I'm happy I can finally just work, go on and do the styling tomorrow and stuff, and not having like tutorials you can trust sucks. It sucks really bad because you're always wondering, is this correct? Can I trust this one? Will this work? And ChatGPT wasn't that helpful on that as well. So get yourself a mentor. That's the wisdom of it.
That's some good wisdom. I only have one thing to add here, one little piece of wisdom. And I think, we can't see the punchline, right? Let me change the layout to this one. Oh, now we still can't see it. Now we can see it.
Got it. Well, I mean, 10x Dev suffered for all of us, for all the new coders who, so they maybe have to only waste 2 hours instead of 4 in the future. So, and maybe sometime in the future we will have 0 hours wasted, but that might be still a few years from now.
Exactly. So that being said, for me today was a very exciting day actually, because I still remember it like it was yesterday, where we were at day 1, and now like you're doing Next.js stuff and you're having your own theme and stuff. Like it just gets more and more exciting the more your abilities grow. And I think that's also something that anyone else can take away from this. Like as your abilities grow, coding gets even more fun, because then you get to do the cool stuff. Yeah, just wanted to celebrate that a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome that you remind me of that. I just had to laugh a moment ago because you said today was amazing to me, because I remember as if it were yesterday.
Of course, always with the deep shit here. In the code call, speaking of which, it ends now, but tomorrow there will be another one. So if you're watching the recording or if you're watching live, join us tomorrow again, and to see where this block goes and to learn the basics of Next.js even deeper, even the param stuff and the file name stuff. So this has been day 101 of now 200 days of code with
Andersen and my mentor,
Mr. Quack, aka the air horn, aka LF Nil from 10x Dev. Thank you, everyone.
always be coding.